On today's show, the Phoenix Suns rout the Los Angeles Lakers in their first preseason game. What's real? What's a mirage? And has our expectations changed a little bit for this Suns team? Let's talk about that and much more on this edition of Locked On Phoenix Suns.
You are Locked On Suns, your daily Phoenix Suns podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up? Welcome back into Locked On Phoenix Suns. My name is Benjamin Garcia, host of the Ben Garcia Show, mornings on YouTube at 7 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and a credentialed Phoenix Suns media member covering your Phoenix Suns 365 days out of the calendar year. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. Wherever you may be listening, however you may be listening, thank you for making Locked On Suns your first listen here on this beautiful Monday morning, Sunday evening, however you may be listening, wherever you may be listening. Thank you for making this show a part of your day. Remember, Locked On Suns are free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So let's hit that follow or subscribe button to do it. Thousands of everydayers have already done. Become an everydayer and get locked onto the Phoenix Suns right here each and every day. Was that fun? Was that fun? That was... it gets me so jacked up, right? There was a part of me, I try to take Friday nights and Saturdays off. Oftentimes, especially during football season, that doesn't happen. I do a lot more than just cover the Phoenix Suns. And the Suns played on Friday night. And I was so jacked up. I was this close to doing a post-game show, but I thought to myself, let's let me marinate on this game a little bit, get a level head about it, and see if I feel the same way about the Phoenix Suns that I felt on Friday. Or Friday night, I guess I should say. And needless to say, I do. Needless to say, nothing has changed on my opinion of the Phoenix Suns from Friday night to right now when I'm recording this Sunday afternoon. The Phoenix Suns absolutely decimated the Los Angeles Lakers. That game was never close. And in a sense, here's what the difference was. One team knows exactly who they are, and the other team has no idea. They're a hodgepodge of talent mixed together saying, Luka, you figured it out with the Mavericks. Figure it out again now. I know you're not playing in this game. LeBron James, you're old. This team is now headed more towards Luka Doncic, and the Phoenix Suns know exactly what they are. Exactly what they are. The Suns dominated that game. And no, it's not because they went 125 points. The opposing team couldn't stop them from making buckets. Guys, there were multiple instances in this game. Yeah, the Suns caught fire a couple of times, and that's great. And we'll talk about that in just a second. I don't even know if 30 minutes is going to be enough time to cover all the good things that we saw. But the Suns know exactly what they are. They are not an offensive team anymore with a collection of talent, firepower at will. We're just going to mid-range you to death. That is not what we saw on Friday night. What we saw was a team that plays gritty, will dive on the floor for loose balls, stifling defense, and that will then turn into offense the other direction. We're already going to get into the statistics of it all, and this is the nitty-gritty. This is the stuff that helps prove your point. The Suns had 16 total turnovers. 12 of those came before the third quarter. Obviously, that's what my notes say. And so what I will say is, that's a little bit of an issue, but I'm not super worried about that right now. Other younger players are coming in. Some of those guys aren't going to play. It's not a massive issue, so I don't want to dive into it. 22 turnovers, which is what the Phoenix Suns forced from the Los Angeles Lakers, is a massive deal. Listen, I get it. It's the preseason. Ben, you're overreacting. Sure. Totally fine. First off, it's the only, people keep on asking me, why do you keep overreacting? Because it's the only data I have right now. Let me see the games in China against the Brooklyn Nets in a couple of days here, and then we'll have more data to react to. But right now, this is all I have to react to. And what the Suns did is exactly what we wanted them to do. Come in, be a team that is suffocating defensively, set the tone. Every bucket the Lakers get is going to be earned. And the Suns are going to turn their mistakes into points the other direction. The Suns had 16 total turnovers. Not great. again, a lot of those players did not, that committed turnovers late in that game will not be playing. The Lakers had 22 turnovers and the Suns had 27 points conceded off turnovers. 19 fast break points to the Lakers 6. Oh, and what else did the Suns do to become a different version of themselves? The identity, if you will. Bigger, stronger, longer, defensive. 48 points in the paint to the Los Angeles Lakers, 22. And I don't want to hear, well, the Lakers didn't have Luka and LeBron. Sure, totally a fair argument. However, that's not like the Suns were playing what was it? The team they lost 2 years ago, the 36ers, who play over in like Australia. That team had DeAndre Ayton, who Lakers fans told me was going to be the difference between title contenders and title hopefuls. And that team had Austin Reeves out there. Rui Hachimura is a fine player. They were not devoid of talent. I'd argue the talent was closer than you think. The Suns just wanted it more. And what I thought was so telling offensively was the consistent motion, players moving. Mike Budenholzer might need to be charged with a crime against basketball humanity in the, basketball sphere, because it clearly wasn't that difficult to get guys to move around. And seeing JJ Redick, I don't know if you watched the duration of that game, but Kevin Ray had said, hey, Dylan Brooks is going to talk after the game. And I was like, oh, let's see if he's got something big he's going to say. I want to see that. Immediately after the game ends, it wasn't even the Dylan Brooks interview, which was basically nothing. It was JJ Redick embracing Jordan Knott, and you could see visually impressed. Like, damn, this guy's got something rolling over here in Phoenix. He's embracing the identity. Here's JJ Redick after the game.
Look, the reality, and this is not an excuse, this is quite literally reality. They've had 19 guys in the gym all of September. They did their installs similar to how we did last year in September. They were able to get a lot of their installs in. They've had 7 practices. They're ahead of us from that perspective. They have more stuff in. I felt that more on the defensive end. They clearly have a lot of their concepts, schemes, all that stuff really tight. We just haven't had enough time. We will get there. I'm very confident.
Well, that's interesting. The team that was thrown together in the offseason has a bunch of different moving parts, is not as talented as the Los Angeles Lakers, came in and whooped your ass. I call it what it is. I know JJ Redick's a head coach and guys get fired all the time. He's not going to hit the panic button, especially in the media. The dude wants to keep his job. That's not me saying he's anywhere close to losing his job. That's not what I'm saying. My point is he's always going to lean on, I'm not concerned, because he doesn't need to drum up more concern in the media than isn't already there. The Suns whooped the Lakers' ass on Friday. It wasn't close. And you saw what JJ Redick said, and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. The Suns had 19 guys in the facility day in and day out working on their craft. They are not going to be able to lean on talent this year. Oh, we'll just, if all things fail, we'll just go to Kevin Durant and we'll just go to Bradley Beal and we'll just go to Devin Booker. Like, they'll make something happen. No, we're going to actually lean towards a real offense. And that's where my other point comes across. Damn, Jordan Knott was really impressive. Really impressive. Now, again, I'm going to say this again for the people in the comment section. Yeah, preseason. Totally buy into it. It could be nothing. But we could be on the Lakers side of things. Like, just let me just tangent sidebar really quickly. What if we were talking about the opposite? What if we were talking about, damn, man, Suns got all these new players, younger. They got a different identity, and they just couldn't show up. They couldn't make buckets. They were getting suffocated defensively against a Lakers team that didn't have LeBron or Luka. Like, that's concerning. Like, the Lakers have a built-in excuse. Their 2 best players didn't play. But still they're saying to themselves, damn, can DeAndre Ayton play? Were Suns fans right? I mean, he was terrible offensively. Yeah, he had a couple of blocks. Yeah, Ayton tends to do that against the Suns. He comes out, plays a better, tries to have a better performance. But even Lakers fans are like, I know he's better than Jackson Hayes, but does he try as hard? Like, that's the difference between the Suns and the Lakers right now. The opposing viewpoint, you'd much rather have what the Suns have, which is is this what we're going to see? Is this what we're going to see all year long? They're not more talented. And it's what we talked about all year. And I want to get into Jordan Knott's offense. And, I said I would a second ago. I want to get further into it next, but I don't want to cram 2 minutes in this first segment here and not get into Jordan Knott. So let's talk about Jordan Knott. Let's also talk about the Suns. If they continue to do this, this is what the season is going to look like. Not 82 wins, but I'll explain. And I'm going to talk about Dillon Brooks. You just know I'm going to talk about Dillon Brooks. So let's do that all next. Today's show is brought to you by our friends over at Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet. Designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors. This is training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that help you plan, stay motivated, and reach your peak performance. I got to tell you, man, I've already kind of thought this through a few different times. We're moving into, a new house. We don't have like a ton of room for a Peloton in this small apartment, but I've already told my wife, I was like, hey, listen, I'm not old, but I'm getting older. And I'm squatting. I'm doing all the power lifts that I'm still doing when I was playing basketball in high school or football in high school. And I just don't need to be doing that stuff anymore. I do need to be lifting. I do need to be exercising. I enjoy that stuff. But is there something a little bit easier on the joints that I could use? Peloton would be perfect for me. Not only that, but I don't have to go in ready with a plan, what I want to do. Could walk in, do one of their, instructional videos. And I could get out 40-minute exercise and be done for the day and maybe be a little bit more kinder to my joints that are obviously hurting today. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. So I want to get deeper into this Suns offense because we saw a lot of motion. We saw a lot of guys moving around. We saw a lot of passing. The statistics are there to back that up as well. There were so many easy shot selections for the Phoenix Suns in this game. A multitude of this Suns points came around the rim. The Lakers have been a team that beats you in the paint. They don't shoot a lot of threes. In this game, they shot 35 of them. Again, a lot of their normal players didn't play. But in this game, points in the paint, 22. The Suns had 48. That is a direct correlative and consequence, a good consequence, if you will, of the offense the Suns have put in place courtesy of Jordan Knott. We saw the big play of the Cleveland Cavaliers last year. They've got Evan Mobley. They've got Jared Allen. They've got the amount of players to play big. And there's going to be some carryover from that Cleveland Cavaliers offense to this Suns offense. And what I thought was really interesting is Oso Iguodala's driving to the rim. He's dishing on pick and rolls. I thought that was really interesting. Oso continues to show that brainiac ability to find guys open in space. He's going to continue to do that all year long. And it was the constant motion, the moving. And I think this is going to be a byproduct of no longer being predicated on a big three, big two. We're just going to get the ball to these players at whatever time in the game. Booker gets his, Bradley Beal gets his, Kevin Durant gets his. There should be some charges made against Mike Budenholzer's crime against basketball humanity with the way that he constructed this team last year on the court. But some of it is also, when you have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, you just want to get the ball to those guys. And how many times last year did we talk about this offense being too stagnant, being too lackadaisical, being too much hero ball? Your turn, my turn, his turn. Oh, Bradley Beal hasn't touched the ball in a while. He's going to have to, cook a little bit. Kevin Durant hasn't touched the ball in a while. He needs to cook a little bit. Booker, he's at 18 points. He averages 25 a game. You got to get him his points. Instead of just doing the right thing with the basketball, we trusted talent over scheme. And I thought you saw much more scheme in this game over talent. The Suns still have talent. Devin Booker, in my opinion, is a top 12 basketball player in the NBA. He's not a one. I don't think you can win a championship with him as your one. For the people out there who think I'm just gassing up Devin Booker, but he's a top 12 basketball player in the NBA. You saw those, and you saw, the statistics in this game as well kind of bear that out. People saw Devin Booker, he had 24 points in this game, 8 for 19. Booker has earned the right to just work on his game in the preseason, meaning like a pitcher in baseball during spring training who's just going to throw nothing but curveballs. And you're like, well, he gave up 8 runs. And you're like, yeah, he's just throwing curveballs, just working on his game. Devin Booker can shoot inefficiently all preseason long, and it will not raise one eyebrow from me. He has earned the right to be the proverbial pitcher in spring training, just working on his curveball. Listen, he wants to shoot with dudes in his face, and he wants to work on that. Great. He wants to work on getting guys on his hips or preparing for double teams and having to score at will. Great. I don't care. I'm not going to, mention one more time about how, the abysmal shooting percentage from Devin Booker, 8 for 19. He's earned the right to do that. But again, offensively, the ball moved around well. Grayson Allen, I think, oh man, should I say this? Should I say this quietly? I saw Sam Cooper of the Timeline podcast say Grayson Allen is low-key coming for that starting shooting guard spot. I'm not saying he should, but I am saying he does fit with Devin Booker better than Jalen Green does. It's not saying Jalen Green's a bad player, but there's a fit aspect in basketball. And I like what Grayson Allen does defensively and shooting the ball from 3 better than Jalen Green does as a fit with Devin Booker. I could be wrong there. We didn't see Jalen Green in this game, so I'll leave it at that. So continuously, the offense of Jordan Knott was moving. The Suns got up 41 threes in this game. They only hit 13 of them, but they got those up because guys were open. And I thought that was a big deal. Here's the other thing that I need to get into before this segment ends, because I also want to talk about the rookies in the final segment. Dillon Brooks, you see what people say about him, right? Hate him when he's not on your team. Love him when he is on your team. You think some of the things he kind of does is a little corny when you're watching it from the opposing team's perspective. In terms of the Kevin Durant trade with the Phoenix Suns, it is clear the Rockets won that trade. Sure, they got the best player in the deal. They won the deal for now. That is still TBD in the long run who won that deal. What if Kamal Malawatch is awesome? What if Jalen Green makes me eat my words of everything I've said to him, which I'm rooting for? And what if Dillon Brooks was actually more of a key to success than the Rockets are leading him out to be? I have never felt better about the Kevin Durant trade. Yeah, do I wish the Suns would have gotten more? I mean, sure, whatever. But I think it's interesting. I've never felt better about the Suns' haul in the Kevin Durant trade, and have never felt worse about the Rockets' haul in the Kevin Durant trade. And here's what I mean. Dillon Brooks affects winning in all the ways that do not show up on a stat sheet. He is pesky. He leads by example. He is not too good for any job on the court. That's the mentality he has. He is going to get up in the grill of the team's best player, whether they just put 45 on his head or not. He's going to dive on the ground for loose balls, influencing younger players to do the same. And I just think when you take someone who was so instrumental and does all the little things in terms of winning, and you put him on the team that lost Kevin Durant, and the Houston Rockets get a player who, there was an article out a couple years ago that he avoids contact crash test dummies because he wants to stay healthy. Totally fair. He's not the same defender he was, still a pretty good defender, but it's not the same defender he was with Golden State years ago. And I think, and it's clear, like it's indisputable. Kevin Durant has said he doesn't want to be a leader. Kevin Durant is not a leader. And I think when you add add someone like Dillon Brooks, who does the leading and dirty work that Kevin Durant never did, all the glue guy culture stuff that is so important and imperative to winning, I wonder how the Houston Rockets are going to fill the void of Dillon Brooks. Not Dillon Brooks so much the player, but Dillon Brooks the leader, the glue guy, the little things, the grittiness. I don't think you're getting that with Kevin Durant. You're getting a lot of talent with Kevin Durant. He's going to shoot the ball effectively, and you could argue that's exactly what the Rockets needed. But he is in the words of, my broadcasting idol, Colin Cowherd, he's a bailer, not a baller. When things get hard, we consistently see Dillon Brooks getting up in the grill of the best player, diving on the floor, doing all the little things to win, barking at the team themselves, saying, hey, if I'm doing this, time for you to do it. Kevin Durant never did that. Kevin Durant was just talent. The Suns needed something out of Kevin Durant that they never got. All the leadership, the culture, the glue guy stuff that goes into Phoenix now comes out of Houston, and now Houston brings in the talent, but I think is kind of losing the culture a little bit, which is what made them so successful in the first place. Houston was not a raucous offense. Like we talk about, like you guys who love Jalen Green, totally fair. I'm not going to go after Jalen Green. He was an inefficient scorer, and he was, in your guys' eyes, the second or first best player on that team, the leading scorer on the 2 seed. They beat teams because they were suffocating defensively. The Rockets are giving up what they do culture-wise for this otherworldly talent. I'm just curious to know how much that affects winning, how much that affects championship status. Because I think what Dillon Brooks does is the foundation of all good championship pedigree winning teams. Golden State Warriors won before KD. They won after KD. Oklahoma City Thunder were up 3-1 on the Golden State Warriors and blew it. It's just a thought. It's just a thought. And I know this is, seems like ragging on Kevin Durant. I couldn't care less about that anymore. I just feel a lot better about that Kevin Durant trade now because I think the Suns were starving for something that Dillon Brooks adds. And it's not the talent thing. He's got talent, but it's the grittiness, it's the leadership, it's the I'm not too good for anything, it's the leading by example, and it's kind of a almost the delusional way of playing basketball in a good way. Like the mentality of I'm the best player on the court. Every time I walk on, I'm going to do everything I can to win. And I thought that was a breath of fresh air. And it made me think twice about that Kevin Durant deal. Like, how much is Houston actually going to miss Dillon Brooks? It's one preseason game, and I'm willing to add that caveat. But I think they're going to miss him more than I think a lot of NBA fans or Houston Rockets fans think. So with that being said, let's close out the show with the rookies. Just a quick rookie watch. Kamal Malawatch had a couple of moments in this game. Rasheer Fleming, so-so. And where the hell is Kobe Barea? Next. Today's show is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss right now. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's right. Pick a bet, put $5 down, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I like, or I guess I should say, really love sports betting because I think it's a way to kind of test your knowledge. I love the idea of betting spreads. Listen, I told you guys at the beginning of the week, the Arizona Cardinals are 9.5-point favorites. For a team that can't score points, I don't know if I think they're going to win, but damn, that's a lot of points for a team that can't score. That line came all the way down to -7.5. So what does that say? I was on the sharp side there. With that being said, by the time you see this, the Kansas City Chiefs they'll be having a game on Monday Night Football against the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road. -3.5. That Jacksonville defense is pretty freaking good. If you want to just feel good about your $5, potentially win, maybe just put $5 down the money line for the Kansas City Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes, you always feel good about that. But if you want to get a little risky, I kind of like the Jags +3.5. That defense is frisky with the Chiefs winning, Jags covering. But so are you ready to play? You ready to get in on the action? What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Let's close out the show with a little bit of rookie watch. I want to make sure I have right here correctly from my notes. Listen, I know, when you think I'm just coming up here and blabbing, believe it or not, I actually take notes while watching these things. Here's the things that I wrote down. Here's the one concerning thing about Kamal Malawatch that I thought was interesting. One, he was the third center. Like, they started Oso at the 5. They brought in Nick Richards, and you didn't see Kamal Malawatch and then until the 2:52 mark left in the third quarter. That tells you one of two things. One, and this might be a good thing, they're making Kamal Malawatch earn it. We don't care that you're 10th overall pick. We saw what Nick Richards did last year. He's a good backup center. Beat him out. Like, you want to play, beat him out. And he hasn't beaten him out yet. And that's fine. He's 19. I'm not sounding any alarms with that. Here's the thing that was a little interesting. Also, Kamal Malawatch made his first appearance in that 2:52 mark left in the third quarter and immediately turned the ball over with an offensive foul. So that was kind of interesting. He also missed his first shot of the game on Christian Coloco and then bricked his first free throw. But, like, again, those are all rookie things. First, like, I'm not worried about that. Here's what I'm worried about with Kamal Malawatch. I think he's 19 years old. I want to make sure. He's 19 years old. The conditioning should not be an issue. He played 10 minutes in this game. And I wrote this down on X, if you want to follow me on there, at Ben Garcia Show. He came in at the 2:52 mark and played through that third quarter. He played 5 minutes non-consecutively because of that 2.5-minute break in the third quarter and was pulled out of the game 2 minutes and 40 seconds into the fourth quarter. That's concerning, right? Maybe it's just me. It's not majorly concerning. It's a little bit concerning that his conditioning isn't up. Because, if he's playing poorly, Jordan Knott's not going to... It's the preseason. That's the time for you to play poorly and to figure out your game. But what I thought was interesting was he kind of had a quick hook there. Outside of that, had a nice... he kind of got his feet wet. He did exactly what we wanted Kamal Malawatch to do. Catch lobs, play defense. But that was the one thing that was concerning with me with Kamal Malawatch. One, he was the last center to come off. Two, he played 5 minutes non-consecutive because of the third quarter break and was immediately pulled off the floor because he was gassed. Unless Jordan Knott's just already punishing guys for not playing well in the preseason, I guess that's a fine precedent to set. But he's 19, he's not going to play a lot. This is the time for him to make mistakes. So I thought that was interesting. Missed his first shot of the game. It was a dunk on Christian Coloco, and then he bricked his first free throw. So you got to make your free throws. But that was the biggest thing from Kamal Malawatch that I saw. I am not bailing. I think he's going to be awesome. But it was interesting to see that his conditioning wasn't there yet. Rasheer Fleming, he's behind everyone. Royce O'Neal, Nigel Hayes-Davis, you guys win this one. I thought they would just play Fleming more. You guys were right there. I was wrong. He didn't come until the fourth quarter, and he's just behind everyone. He played... Rasheer Fleming, where is he at? 12 minutes. So he actually played more than Kamal Malawatch did. Again, strange. He had a block and he had 2 points in this game, but largely non-existent. And I don't really know what to say about that. I'm not going to have this grand declaration of come on and Rasheer suck. That's ridiculous. We didn't see them enough to make grand declarations. All I can tell you is the notes that I took. And Rasheer, he had not a putback dunk, but he had a rebound and put it in. Good for Rasheer. we got to see him, see that sniper of a 3-point shot if that continues to be the case. He shot 2 3-point shots, missed them both. Kamal Malawatch, I thought this was interesting too because he shot a bunch of threes in the summer league, did not shoot a singular one. And then Kobe Brea is missing in action. Here's my last point. I don't really care that Kobe Brea didn't play, but also why is Kobe Brea not playing? It's the preseason. Kobe Brea is not going to matter this year. There's too many guys ahead of him. He's a 23, 24-year-old rookie. It's better for him to go to the G League, see what he can do there, continue to develop his game. And when guys get injured, when Devin Booker gets that patented 10-game, 7-game miss because he pulls a hammy, it just feels like it's baked in every year. He's a mostly healthy player, but he's got hammy issues, and sometimes that happens, or rolls an ankle. He's going to get his number called upon. But he's not going to matter largely a lot this year. If he pops when guys are injured, we'll talk about it then. But I'm not worried about it. I'm more focused on Rasheer and Malawatch, and I need to see them play more against Brooklyn in these next 2-game stretches, which are in China. So those are my immediate takeaways. We're going to talk about this game more as the next game comes closer, but Brooks awesome, Ott's offense awesome, rookies TBD. I can't give you a grand declaration or grand opinion on that. I think both guys got their feet wet, but let's see a little bit more. Also, Bronny James is still terrible. Still terrible. You got to feel bad for the kid who's, well, in a way, basketball bad. I don't feel life bad. Dude's living a great life, but, quick Locked On Lakers segment. He's terrible, man. He is just terrible. Does not belong in an NBA court, but his dad's LeBron. And I kind of feel bad because he's got these massive expectations. He was probably overdrafted, but man, he can't play. He looks like a sore thumb sticking out on this basketball court. And it's interesting. My quick Bronny James story. I was walking through the tunnel last year and I ran into Bronny James. I had my phone in my hand and I was looking down, putting some social media stuff up. And I ran face first into Bronny James. We both just weren't looking. I'm about 5'8", guys. Bronny, if he's 6 foot, that was generous. If he's 6'1", that's a generous height. That guy, I don't think that's going to last in the NBA. Anyways, with that being said, guys, don't forget to follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. Hit like, share, subscribe to this to Locked On Phoenix Suns. We're here all year long, and absolutely great overall first preseason game. So with that being said, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. For everyone tuning in, I appreciate you. For myself, Benjamin Garcia, it's been Locked On Phoenix Suns, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow night.